My final thoughts on my first playthrough of Cyberpunk 2077. Overall, I thought the game was very pretty. I think the world they built was amazing. It's so cool. The quests kind of got a little repetitive after a while, especially the gang fights. The storyline quests were pretty good. The hand-to-hand combat I'm not a fan of in this game. The cars were okay. I felt learning how to drive the differences in the cars was interesting, switching from the bike to the Porsche was fun. But the bugs in this game, like holy cow. The graphical glitches were just ridiculous. Like it felt like it got worse as the game went on. You would go and you'd see someone pouring a bottle that's invisible into a glass that's invisible. You know, this stuff was missing. People were T-posing at distances. And then the one quest I couldn't complete because the body just didn't spawn. So a body didn't spawn for me, and so I was missing a shard, so I couldn't complete that quest, and that just sat there. I will play this game again after they get some patches out. Maybe give it 4 or 5 months. Probably play a different character. Start in the desert maybe. Heck, maybe even try the Corpro one just for shits and giggles. Spoiler warning, jump to 3 minutes and 44 seconds to avoid. 3, 2, 1. Maybe try a different technique with how to fight the game. Although I maintain up until the very end there, revolver sniper rifle is just unbeatable. You absolutely smoke everyone. Except for the boss, the end boss. Like, Jesus Christ, Adam Smasher was a bitch. That fight was stupid. Guess you just have to learn the fight. And I was being bullheaded and refused to dive underneath the underneath that one opening, or the one undercover area when he's firing his missiles everywhere. The Ed 209s are kind of interesting. And having what's his futs there to help you out at the end was kind of interesting as well. Although I'm not too sure how much damage he actually did. Wasn't too hard to get past the first part of the end fight. Need to glitch him out. And that just goes back to playing video games for 25-30 years. There's certain glitches. The AI, you can always confuse AI, and if you run into you notice it and you're like, oh, okay, that's easy to do. And maybe jumping up on the pillars was how they envisioned you would fight him. I don't know. Being one shot every other time was kind of insane, but the EMP grenades definitely helped out a whole lot, and using the AR helped a lot too. Ghost ninjas. But yeah, no, I'm just letting the credits scroll here. I want to see what happens. I want to see if there's anything special at the end. It's like a Marvel movie. Are there any cool special things at the end? We'll see. We will see. I wanted to add a little bit more to my closing statements of Cyberpunk 2077. This is recorded on December 18th after Sony has pulled it from their store, and I read that Microsoft might be pulling it from their store as well. I feel like the game was rushed. I don't think it was ready to be deployed, and the game maker is obviously seeing the fallout from that. I think the game for PC is playable as a beta, and I think it should have been marketed that way. They should have said, hey, here is the game. It is a pre-release version of the game. You might see some bugs. They should have also been more open about PS4 and the Xbox One and their issues of how poorly the game will play on their system. The big issue here, I think, is that expectations weren't met. And what people thought they were getting was a polished, finished AAA game. When what we got was a not very polished at all, maybe kind of rusty AAA beta release. I hope this doesn't kill CD Projekt. I think their work is amazing. I think this game is fantastic. It needs a lot of work, don't get me wrong, but I still think the game is great. The world they made is fantastic. I've heard the Witcher games are decent as well. Buggy too, but decent as well. And I hope they still have time to correct their wrongs with this game with patches the next few months. As for the major stores like Sony and stopping selling the game and the refunds they're offering, along with CD offering refunds as well, I think it's damage control. It's probably warranted because of the lack of information that gamers got beforehand. But overall, I really hope gamers take a step back, see that they weren't trying to pull a fast one over anyone's eyes, that they were trying to meet deadlines and obviously didn't make it for one reason or another. Continue to support the developer, let them get the finished product of this game out, and then, you know, look at them and say, hey, do we want to continue supporting these guys? Anyway, those are my final thoughts on my first playthrough of Cyberpunk 2077. Again, I will be playing this again in the future after they do some patches, maybe in a month or two, maybe 3 or 4, and we'll do a complete playthrough again, and we'll see if it's any better. Again, I love the world they made is fantastic. It's super, super cool. The storyline is pretty cool. The driving the cars is kind of interesting. The hand-to-hand combat's not my favorite. But otherwise, I had fun. Overall, I had fun. Anyway, appreciate you guys hanging out, and see you guys next time. Take care.